Welcome in, everybody. We have Server Wars, Team Wars 2, Week 2. Ubisoft is aware of the server issues, if anybody is wondering. So hopefully they get handled. They are still sort of happening right now, although it's not the worst it's ever been. There has been times when it's been completely gone. So we should at least count our blessings in that respect. But we have Team Wars this week. We have Mintberry Crunch was the big one this week. The Imp tweak was interesting. Future Randy could be good. Pretty much the only time you wanted to Future Randy was after they Imp tweak your Mintberry Crunch, and then that saves your Mintberry Crunch, and then you probably win the match after that. But the slow play with the Poseidon, I like that. Now we get the Dougie. Poseidon does slow the Dougie, remember? So New Kid gets slowed by the Poseidon, not doing any damage to the Dougie, so he's able to beat him. Oh my god, he only played one card. Oops. Oops. That just makes me chuckle. That makes me chuckle. Boo, 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 boo. Big Bohica 505.
Who's ready to tussle? These outfits are so precious.
All right. SWOW. Was it SWOW versus Slave? Is that what it was? I mean, typically we do the SWOW, but I think this week we went Slave on all the accounts. I can't remember, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But SWOW is potentially good. No, obviously it's not SWOW Slave. We're looking right at it. Wait, it must have been Future Randy, right? Yeah, Future Randy versus SWOW. Future Randy's the right choice because Future Randy can impact. Like pretty much, if you're up against a good player and everything's even, the person that's gonna win is the person who's gonna counter when they play the Imp tweak on either your BHK or your Manberry Pig, not Manberry Pig, Mintberry Crunch, MBC. So the Mintberry Crunch, you want to bait them to pull the BHK and then play the Mintberry Crunch, and then the Mintberry Crunch is basically unkillable. Or you can let them pull your Mintberry Crunch and then Future Randy afterwards, which is good too. But this guy, honestly, he had pretty good levels. For this being a silver team, he had level 5. He had level 5 Slave. He has level 7 Gunslinger. He had a couple other level 7 commons, right? Level 3 Manberry Pig though. Mintberry Crunch. I call him Manberry Crunch. But yeah, level 3 gives away, but like the level 5 Slave in silver, it was actually pretty wild to see. I was like, what? He was kind of hidden, and I was like, is that a level 5? Also depends on the player if they can use him properly. Yeah, it also depends sometimes on how Mintberry Crunch interacts, and there can be a glitch sometimes where if you use Mintberry Crunch right when like you get hit by the New Kid Blast, it'll like let him use the ability twice. That can be really, really trouble. But yeah, if you Imp tweak the Mintberry Crunch, he gets pulled, then you pull him. If you use your Future Randy and then he's got Mintberry Crunch out and then he uses Mintberry Crunch while they're like together, that's a big chunk of damage. That could potentially kill your Mintberry Crunch. So yeah, if you do it wrong, you could definitely turn it around. But the Robin on the Heidi is just hilarious. Just hilarious. SWOW is a better team choice because bad Future Randy play will lose you the game and not everyone can play him. Yeah, but when I speak about the best choice for our team, we're speaking about the best choice for the best players in the game. I agree that SWOW is the better choice in general, but also levels come into play. More people have Future Randy leveled than SWOW, so levels might matter too. I played both on multiple accounts and noticed almost no difference besides keeping Mintberry Crunch alive. Yeah, the only impact I could see is saving your Mintberry Crunch. And SWOW wouldn't be able to do that. But like, people maybe aren't even gonna try that because Future Randy's an option. So like, you might not even have to do that because you're not gonna get people imp tweaking your stuff because it's counterable. But yeah, it kind of depends. You don't have to worry about it too much. SWOW is good in general, but the reason SWOW wasn't a huge pick is because in my mind, the reason that you run SWOW in Team Wars is to get to kill the Angel Wendy or something like that, to kill the backline, the Drow or something like that that's really bothering you, because she can just run past everybody and take them out. This week, there really was the issues were Mintberry Crunch and what a bad Dougie. Mintberry Crunch and BHK, which don't get impacted by the titty bang. I don't think she can taunt him, but she can't go for them. So you're not gonna be able to use her. You could get her really stacked by the BHK potentially, but Future Andy's potential to save the match when they when they mess it up with Imp Tweak, I think is probably the biggest play. Otherwise, you just don't play either. You're gonna see me in almost every single one of these not play Future Andy. Just like when you're playing Super Fart or something, it's almost never the right play to play Super Fart in a actual capacity. But it doesn't mean we're not gonna pick it because it's the better pick, because you could cycle with it or whatever it might be. All right, so slow play here. We're trying to play something so that he's forced to play, and then we could BHK it, build up something, because he's not gonna break the slave. But instead, he just lets me take the bar, I guess. I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Could be a free win here. Could be a free win. I think it is. Now this doesn't make sense to me. At least play a card. That's not even... I only have 2 cards out there. If I have 9 cards on the board, sure, stop playing. But if I only have 2 cards out there, play a card. Make me beat you. But yeah. I could definitely see you winning with SWOW this week too, but I think as far as the better plays, the best play, if you don't have the Future Andy, you play a Mintberry Crunch, they imp it, your Mintberry Crunch dies to imp, then they play their Mintberry Crunch. All of a sudden, you have no way to possibly kill their Mintberry Crunch. You imp tweak their Mintberry Crunch, but then they Future Andy to reset it. That's game over. I really don't think there's any way to come back from that. That's when you can stop playing. Right here. If he Future Andy's this, I'm in trouble. But I have my Mintberry Crunch to potentially do something. Oh, that was interesting. But he doesn't get the... I mean, that would have been really interesting if he would have gotten the Robin off. If he would have hit the Mintberry Crunch. I don't know why it didn't go off. It seemed like it was in range still. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Right now, you could Future Andy to have some fun. Stop the Dougie with a slave. I pretty much didn't care about losing the bar because I knew level 4 would die to New Kid. Can you imagine he gets glitched or something, he doesn't die? Oh, you know what I was thinking? An interesting play. The hamsters don't get pulled by Future Randy, right? But Future Randy does hit New Kid and freezes him for a second if you have it right at the middle. So if you play it just right, you could play the hamsters. Top or bottom probably would be the only way it would work. And it'd be hard to if there's a unit out there, it wouldn't work. But you play the Future Randy, and then the hamsters would potentially, if you do it right, would not get hit by New Kid for, normally they would get hit 2 or 3 times, but instead they're not going to get hit. That's a big difference between how much damage your hamsters are going to get off. So I think my new goal is to try to get a Future Randy instance where I win the match with hamsters Future Randy. Or think about, you use Future Randy, you push him back, and then the hamsters are attacking him the whole time while they're frozen. I don't know. Seems interesting. Future Randy drives them to the middle and puts them in the Mintberry Crunch beam, but not if you can put a lightning rod out to direct where Mintberry Crunch goes, or you could have a situation where it won't matter if Mintberry Crunch hits you. But in that situation I was describing, he had already killed my Mintberry Crunch, so it wouldn't matter. But the Dougie sneaks by. Level 1 SWOW in gold. It just doesn't make sense. There should be different leagues. There should be different leagues. Or your levels just don't matter. Like if my team gets the card leveled up to 5, I get to use the card at level 5. Can you imagine how many more losses that we would have if every single person that we went up against had the same levels? Everybody had 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, or 5, 5, 7, 7, whatever you want. Everybody had that. Can you imagine? That'd be sick. See, right now I have the Future Andy to protect from the imp. And we can just dice him right here. We can probably kill both of them if we time it right. Nice. Nice. Pretty bad setup here as far as... I mean, Future Andy maybe works. I pretty much have to just give up the bar here. I shouldn't have played the Future Andy, but that's all right. Well, it's not too bad, actually. Now we start getting the BHK on him. It's not bad. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Get somebody in front of my guys. It's not the worst. What in the hell? Mewpone. Oh. Nice. Nice. Easy matches. Hilarious. Ooh, another silver. Another silver. Zancuvi. Calamity Heidi's a decent lead. I don't mind Poseidon. The slow in Team Wars is decidedly better than in ladder. In fact, it's quite good. But there's definitely potential where playing the Poseidon screws you up. Similar to how you can play Coop and just get absolutely messed up because the way it'll put you on their side or put the battle on their side or something like that. AB will be gold in 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. If you use the Poseidon and it slows them walking forward too much, and it puts you too much on their side when your units are not walking slow, and then you like meet more on their side, it can be potentially bad to play the Poseidon ability. So there are some potential situations where you just don't want to use the ability and you just want to let it sit. That was a terrible Robin tweak. I don't even think that was gonna hit. It's like they don't even know what the card does, which is wild because that's such a meta card that how would you not know what that one does at least? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right. Keeping it up, though. Keeping it up. Ed Barrera. I don't think I played regen more than like one time this time. We do have a super fart. I get a triple super fart out on here at some point. That's gonna be a fun one. All right, Heidi's a good counter there, just non-committal. Poseidon in the corner probably. We're just kind of waiting. Mintberry Crunch at a good time maybe. All right, Imp Tweak. No, not good. Imp Tweak. Ooh, you could Imp Tweak him potentially. You want to maybe Mintberry Crunch him? Yeah, there you go. Get him, get him, get him. Nice, I like that. Mintberry Crunch. Or not Mintberry Crunch. Imp Tweak him. Good. All right, interesting. I mean, you could potentially get value from the Alchemist because if you could blow up a push like the Slave and like that push right there, you could blow it up, but you can also do just the same thing with Mintberry Crunch or BHK, whoever it would have. It probably would have been Mintberry Crunch, the other option, right? All right, now we're playing our Mintberry Crunch. I like it. We're in okay shape here. We don't have to worry about the Super Craig doing too much damage. We have the hamsters on him. Everybody's cleaning up. All right, not bad, not bad. And that's game over. We got 104 on the Slave. That's going to be hard to deal with by himself. And then we have the Dougie coming. The Dougie coming. Save the Dougie. Did Dougie survive or did Dougie die to the fast pass ability? Did anybody see that? Anybody see that? All right, we got Mengster. Sounds like Smegma. Smegster. All right, slave versus slave. I wait a fraction of a second so that I have a board advantage. Means we're gonna meet about here, which gives me all the advantage in the world, boys. We get a bounty hunter up with the slave is usually the typical choice. I like this. What if we just play him on his BHK? Interesting choice. BHK at a level where he might get killed easily, but his BHK is gonna die at least. Oh, interesting. And now he's spread. Oh, the slow almost made me not get the kill though. That was trouble. Now we're in great shape. Does the Robin retarget? Yes, he does. And look at the Randy up there. He broke the slave somehow. Must have just gotten a lucky hit there. Slave is doing all right though. The hyperdrive, he'll probably get a bar here, but he just won't be able to deal with the value that I get here. 72 on the Randy, 16 on all those little Coopers. Not a low amount of value there. Plus 30 on the new kid, plus 40 on the new kid. When it only has 400 health, that's an incredible value there. Now we have Midberry Crunch with the Robin tweak, and that is pretty much destruction mode. The level 3 future Randy doing his job. SWOW couldn't have done that shit. Oh, here's the triple. Here's the triple. Here's the triple. Here's the triple. Oh, no, never mind. There's one we do get a triple super far, guys. It does happen, I swear. We got Rick Luck. Ricky Lake. Got a pretty good start here. We got a non-committal Heidi. We got the slave if he plays. We got the bounty hunter to pair with it. Midberry Crunch you want as soon as possible, really. So Mr. Slave versus him. I win just because the level's higher. So this is good for me. If he gets bounty hunter out, we get mine out with the Midberry Crunch. Trouble. All right, this feels good though. Played up a little bit so Midberry Crunch is harder to get hit. Can we break the slave here? Interesting choice. Gonna imp this. All right. I don't hate that because that could be troublesome if that just builds up a huge push with those guys. If he breaks the heal too quickly on the slave, I could be in trouble there. But look at those hamsters on the bottom side just absolutely lighting up the... I don't know why the Heidi wasn't attacking there. Lighting up the SWOW. And now we just wait until something eventually breaks the heal. Must have been the hamsters there or the 130 from the slave. 140 from the slave plus a little heal from the BHK. Absolutely brutal. If he survives the new kid, we can regen it. I think he does survive the new kid. Start the regen, baby. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, that's brutal. New kid doing no damage. Pulling in the Poseidon, and now the Poseidon. There's the super fart. There's the triple fart. There's the triple fart. There's the triple fart. Get it, baby. Get it. Oh, let's go. Let's go. All right, we got baby Vegeta cattle. Quetzalcoatl? Baby Vegeta Quetzalcoatl. What does Q cattle mean? What does that mean? Oh, we got Poseidon. Good lead. Terrible start here, though. Terrible start, guys. Midberry Crunch, probably the only choice here. Maybe BHK, I guess. Oh, interesting choice. We're gonna move the slave to move the fight onto our side. Oh, this could be trouble if his Midberry Crunch ends up beating us. We'll see what happens here. He's got his Midberry Crunch out. Let's see what we end up doing here. We use our Midberry Crunch right after he uses his ability, so that should put us in good shape. Good Poseidon ability on his place, though, on his point. It's all gonna matter here. BHK versus BHK. Oh, but our BHK not hitting his BHK. That is absolute trouble here. But our Midberry Crunch not getting hit by his Midberry Crunch, which is perfect. We're in good shape here. We're gonna Robin up this bad boy, take out his Midberry Crunch, and that is probably game over. That could have been dangerous, but everything worked out for us. That slow from the Poseidon, surprisingly effective, but we were easily able to deal with his tower, or his push, and now we're headed for his tower, and he's got that. Maybe if you take off that stupid mask, you'll be able to think a little better. Dougie, let's go. That's kind of a disrespectful Dougie, because he could play and turn it around, right? Right? That was an interesting week, though. We had issues with the servers cutting out. We had issues with all sorts of stuff. Oh, look at this. We got an ad to watch. But I will say, if you have issues with the game crashing, the server not being there, for Team Wars especially, first key, wait. Don't hit retry or don't hit continue or whatever until the match would have been over. So if there's 2 minutes left, wait 3 minutes before, add an extra minute for overtime. If the game just started, wait 5 minutes. All right, it's not going to hurt you. Just pretend like you're drawing with a teammate. Wait that time because you want the game to play out on the server side if the game is still going, right? And then this works if you have 2 accounts, but also you could have a buddy helping you out. You want them to try to log in, and you don't want to hit retry until the servers are on again. If you hit retry when the servers are off, it'll tell you, oh, we can't connect to the server, and it'll bring you back to the team screen, which could result in a loss. That would be the result of like the same thing if you're stuck on a screen and it says like opponent left. Opponent left in some situations, they just took a loss, right? So what would happen is you're both in limbo, and then they would get an opponent's left, and then they could continue because you left, right? But that would happen when the server pinged it, right? So there's a bit of a gray area there. But you just basically want to make sure that the server's live before you hit retry, because then it'll act like normal. You'll load in. If you won, you won. If you lost, you lost. Whatever. If you drew, you drew. And you shouldn't take a loss on your Team Wars. So that is your goal. Wait it out and just wait for the server to come back. If you log into another account on your phone and just, what is, you see that? There's like oh, it's my guitar. I was seeing like a little light there. I was like, what is that? Wait the time and then have somebody else or you on a different account. Don't log into your same account though. It has to be a different account. So if you don't have an alt account, you can't do this. So you'll have to ask your buddy, hey, can you log in? For free to play, we just had everybody in voice chat like we normally do. And people we call them spotters, right? But yeah, just a way to handle it so that you at least, it still takes longer because you could potentially not get a win or loss, right? It could take longer. You're getting draws, whatever it might be, but at least you're not going to get the loss, which is going to be helpful. At least you're not going to take the loss. All right. That does it for us. Thanks for watching. Team Wars out. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.